Hello and welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I am here to assist you in your life's story, to bring you up to maybe a little bit more happier place or helping you negotiate your stories as you go forward. Because we're all here. And hi Veronica, how are you doing? And anybody who's coming in here, I'm so grateful for anybody to be here and I'm hoping to help you. So today's show is going to be about healing some of this trauma that we've gone through. And the nervous system is highly attached to that. And then there's other organs and part of the body, and there's a lot of body parts that are very much attached to this part of us healing. And I know for me, I have gone through a big healing myself. And it's been amazing in how that negotiation really supported me. And, it's one of those things that when we're going through life and when we're negotiating things, like right now, I'm really negotiating healing my liver and my gallbladder. And my gallbladder actually right in here was hurting quite a bit, right? And I'm going to turn the camera around so it is mirror my I don't want it to mirror. Okay, so there we go. So same side, same side. Okay, so going into this, that it was on this side of my my left side, going down, and I'm hoping that's my left side on camera because I just took it off mirror and now I'm going to put it back on mirror. Mirror my image. Heads up, you have an overlay that covers a lot of the screen. You might cover yourself. Touch up appearance. Nope, I'm not going to touch up my appearance because I am who I am. Okay, so going into this, that as you go forward and as you're negotiating your story, that we all are going through clearing up a lot of our trauma right now. And I know for me that, like I was saying, that I went through where I was breaking out in hives. My back was totally breaking out in hives. And I, for a long time knew, because this was a part of it, because the reaction right afterwards was when I ate tomatoes or ate something that was a little bit irritant to my body, like barbecue sauce, but it was all like that acid base from tomatoes. And so I would break out in hives, sometimes across my chest and across my back. But then there were some experiences that I really noticed. And, this was in a moment where, there was some trauma that happened in my life. And as soon as that experience happened, that I would start break out in hives, like a conversation that went deep. And I didn't always feel safe in the past. Now I do, right? So that I would break out in hives. And then there was other interactions that I would be doing and I would start breaking out in hives and I can feel my back going ping, 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 right? And all those like moments were like, what is going on here? Well, when I went into observation mode, and this is one thing I want to invite for you, is please go into observation mode while you're doing this. And I can tell you that I just ate something that probably wasn't the best thing for me to eat. And now my liver and gallbladder is like going, right? So, that little achiness. Now, a lot of people would go into where it's achy and it's like, okay, do I have stones? Do I need to go to the doctor? Do I need to do? No, you know what I've been doing? I've been getting, hi, Paula. I've been getting poultice pack, right? Putting castor oil on it and packing it so that it would draw out the things. And I know my liver's been doing better. Well, it was funny because, the liver and the gallbladder, the anger ring finger here, the middle finger, the one that you stick up when you're angry, that is also the liver and the gallbladder. Well, guess what? This finger has been like feeling like it's been going out of joint. And then my ring broke. My it finally wore down. The metal finally wore down and it popped off, right? And it was a moonstone. Guess what? I just got I went to my street fair and this woman made me my garnet ring. And the garnet is a good ring, a good um, moment for this finger, the stone garnet. Well, she also was called, and told her to follow her intuition. She also didn't know if she had this setting, right? She didn't know if she had the setting. So she also showed me this ring here, which is a ruby ring, and it's a really simple ring. I like simple rings. And I'm mixing it with gold, and I know that people say you shouldn't, but they want to go together for some reason. So this ring here is the other ring that she made me. And I'm like going, I don't want two. But guess what? This finger here is representation of this finger here is also representation of the gallbladder and liver, right? So going into this, there's a lot of things. And where does the cortisol sit? It really sits in our gut system. Have you ever thought about that? Where does the stress hormone sit? It really pelts the liver and the gallbladder. The liver is after the stomach is pretty much the first thing that really processes through what we're processing. So if you have like heavy metals, if you have, some of these things, it will sit in the liver and the gallbladder. And that's why a lot of people are having their gallbladders out right now. It's because they're getting toxic and there's stones in them, right? But I got it. So, the one thing I started doing was this finger is starting to feel tight. So what am I doing? I'm stretching my finger back. I'm letting this muscle get stretched back, right? I'm putting my finger back. I'm stretching it back, not as far as it can go, but and I started noticing, oh, there's a calmness that comes over my body. Oh, I'm wondering if that's lowering my cortisol. I'll have to think on that. So I've been doing that a little bit more and more as I've been, and actually doing all the fingers, because all fingers represent an organ. I've shown this on different shows, right? That if you can stretch these moments, try it while you're watching this, if you can, for whoever's watching it, whenever you're watching, start not stressing your fingers. And I know that some people have arthritis, but if you go past, and this is the theme of this show, it's going to be the theme of this show, is going past the discomfort. It doesn't mean you have to go past a huge amount of pain. No, but go past discomfort. Oh, that's a little stiff. I don't know if I could do that. Well, sit where it starts being in discomfort. Now, if that means that you're just a little bit stretching back, do that. Because as you keep going and get going and get going, it's kind of like when you first start stretching, you're like stiff, and then it gets released and released and released. So if you can do something like that, because the theme about this is going past discomfort. Now, I know for me that, going back to the story of breaking out in hives, that I went through the discomfort of my story. So when something was coming up, like a conversation, and that tone, remember, tones can be very important here. Tones are very negotiable in what we're negotiating and what we're doing. And as we go forward into our knowings and into our story, that those discomfort moments can be very enlightening to what is our trigger. Now, for me, like the other day, or a couple weeks, about a month ago, somebody brought oregano or something like that. It was an herb. They brought to school, and it was in a classroom. And oh my gosh, was it a potent smell? It was a potent, because she had a bag of it. And, people were taking it out of the room, but I was like, God, why is it bothering me so much? Well, then I Googled, what does that herb represent? And it represented breaking apart things. Like, oh, and it was oregano. So oil of oregano. Have you ever heard of oil of oregano? It's a very good breaker down of like colds. It's a breaker down of a lot of things. And I was noticing that it was a very much of an irritant for me. So think about irritants. what does that irritant want to show you? Now, you know, for me, it was like I ended up sitting in the smell just a little bit more longer than my body wanted to, because of the fact that I wanted to work through this discomfort. What was it helping me break down in my body that it needed to break down? Because the senses, the smell, the sight, the hearing, the touch, a lot of those senses, and we have more than five, but those are the main ones, that when we go through that discomfort of those moments, it's amazing where we get to the other side of it. The other side could be that the discomfort could be breaking, like the other day, my tummy had an upset. Well, what I've been doing is I've been taking ibuprofen and doing some charcoal. And finally, my gut just said, okay, we're going to clear it out. So, but was that a discomfort? Well, yeah, it was discomfort, but it was actually a cleansing discomfort. So when you're in discomfort, think about it. Where's this discomfort coming from? And going back to this, the garnet stone is a good one for helping the lower chakra, the first chakra. And the first chakra is about, how am I here? Do I have enough food, water, energy? It's like all those prime things. Ruby is my birthstone. And so this one's ruby and this one's garnet. And, when you're going through a lot of these things, that things will come to you to support you. So, I was having, and I'm doing a 3-stage video on my shorts here about trauma. And, and it stemmed from this conversation I had with a good friend, because she's coming from a lot of trauma, and she knows I'm not going to talk bad about her. So she's given me permission about this, that, like she said, she asked me a really good question, is that when you come from something like an abusive parent, abusive husband, sibling, or an abusive situation, where PTSD or, that kind of thing, that when we get to that vibration, that sense of something, that irritant thing, there's a certain tone that my husband has, that from old story. I'm asking for healing on this. That's a mantra I use a lot. I'm asking for healing on this. That energy field, when I'm negotiating that story, it's a moment. Sometimes I have to, in the irritant moment, because it feels like he's yelling at me. He's got a loud voice. It's not necessarily yelling to him. It may be that he's passionate about his emotion right then, but he's not trying to yell, he says. When the dog's in the corner on her bed, and I'm kind of like going, this is kind of an interesting tone, I would say that's a little bit more, we're all responsible for the energy we bring to a room. Okay. But there again, those would be moments where my body would break out in hives. That's a teller of discomfort. That's a teller that my body is doing something. My cortisol levels going up a little bit. Things are happening, right? But like I was picturing, this picture as she asked this question. I'm going to go back to this question. Sorry, scrolling. How do you negotiate? How do you get to that point where you can understand that a bad memory, a bad moment, an irritant that is safe to touch, or one that isn't? Okay. Because sometimes we think that, like some people don't like the Indian drums, right? That vibration is too much for them. It just stirs something in them. Somebody else might say that, like I said, that it was a tone of somebody talking to you. It could be a song. It could be anything that hits you. And, I know, thank you, Paula, for being here, Veronica, for being here, anybody else who's watching in the background. Thank you for being here, because, when we're in the moment of healing this trauma, we're going to have things that negotiate us. Like I was in a meeting last night, and and one of the person didn't like what she was being told, and she got, ooh, and how can you, well, that's a trauma because she heard something that she didn't like from this person, and she just went off on this person. So that's a trauma, and it's a reaction. Usually when we're in reaction mode, that's where we can be more in that discomfort feeling. I want to give you a perspective though, if I can. And I've done a little bit of conversations in my short videos that I do, and I'm going to post the last one tonight. It was a 3-stage videos that, it was almost like when she was mentioning this, it's almost like, those train tracks up in the north where there's a lot of snow and they have that plow at the beginning so that the plow brushes off all the snow. We have to be willing to go through the snow. We have to be willing to go through that stuff that doesn't see, we may not be able to see because, if you look at the train, the snow is coming up and over, so you can't see where you're going. So if you hit a deer, if you hit this, it's gone because you can't really see it. If you don't keep some kind of motion going forward, that movement going forward, that it's hard to get your footing to get somewhere. Okay. So I was telling her, and so many downloads were coming to me during this moment, this conversation, because her coming from trauma, she said that it's really hard for her to be in that discomfort. She doesn't know what is a safe discomfort and what is not a safe way to do it. And, it's like I got the image that when we're babies, when we're babies on this reality, that we go through this trauma or this knowing that all emotions are innocent. Anger is innocent. Anger is just anger. Sadness is just sadness. There's no attachment to it. There's no drama to it. There's no layers to it. Okay? Happiness is innocent. All these emotions are innocent. When do they become not innocent? Through our life's journey. Through our life's journey, our emotions become less innocent, because that is what life is about, right? We come into having these stories and labeled on us, in our womb even. So, but there's a moment in life somewhere where all these emotions are innocent. Until somebody says to us, you can't feel that. You shouldn't feel that. Why are you thinking that? Why are you talking that way? Why, it's like these things that are going on. And she says, how can I go into this time where things are happening? And I'm going to use myself as an example here. How did I go through being able to have a conversation with my loving man who's, oh my gosh, he's so loving right now. And he's continuously loving more and more and more. How can I go through having his tone, his vibration, be angry with me, that old PTSD moment, right? Because of a lot of years of being drunk and yelling at me. That was way back then. We're now 13 years sober and healing so much that, how can we get to that healing point? But I can tell you, if we're willing to look into that discomfort safely, be the train going through the snow, that deep snow, right? If we can go into that trauma safely, we can heal a lot. Now, does that mean, and I said to her, look at it, feel it, listen to that music that usually irritates you. If you need to turn it off within half a minute, turn it off. Listen to it for 3/4 of a minute later, and at another time, listen to it full minute the next time. It's not desensitizing yourself, but it's knowing that. And then while you're listening to that song, Say some mantras to yourself. I'm safe, 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 I'm safe. I'm good, 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 I'm good. All those things that really can negotiate yourself. So, oh, hi, Danielle. Thank you for being here from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you. Oh, yes, I do feel a lots of trauma coming on up this month. And yes, this is this turnaround month. It is, because we're in a week. Oh my gosh, we're in this full moon right now. This full moon right now. We have we have Jupiter going into Cancer. We have all these different moments of this conjunction to that conjunction, right? My shoulders are in such pain. It's insane. Need to release what is not mine. Oh yes, um and oh yes, I do feel how exciting. Yes. So we're coming into this. So thank you for being here, and please remember, your truth is your truth. I'm just giving you understandings that when we are going through that moment of release. Now, for me, going through that, I'm going to call it the crescendo moment, when the orchestra is going, and everything's coming together, right? And usually those peak pain moments, Danielle, I'm going to use your words, those peak pain moments. If we can understand in those peak moments, tell yourself that you're safe and I love you. I honor you, pain, for what you're here to teach me. I love you. Thank you for showing me I need to work on something. Now, have you Googled or looked up what shoulder represents? Right? Because sometimes it's a shoulder. It might be the joint here. The shoulders are the back of the that back of the neck point, right? And it comes down, and it's a moment. So Google or look up. Where do I have that book? Oh, I have it right here. I have this book, and actually, Enid Siegel is from Australia. So, The Secrets of the Language of Body, right? And so, shoulders really can represent the weight that we carry for other people, those stories that we carry for other people. And, we're in this moment of being able to do a lot of healing in our bodies. So that would be. I'm not going to look it up right now because I don't want to. I don't want to negotiate. Shoulder. Okay, here it is. See, I knew that I was. So I'm going to read a snippet of this. Okay, so shoulders. The possible reason why shoulders can be negotiating, carrying the weight of the world, holding on to too much strain, stress, or worry, feeling insecure, unsure, frightened, overwhelmed, sad, rejected, distrustful, and discouraged. Easily hurt, droopy shoulder, indicating the lack of joy and fun. Oh, that makes sense for me because I've been trying to catch myself from slouching. Well, I've been doing a lot of things lately, and I've been trying to turn on music to laugh. Okay. Seriousness, focusing on problems rather than solutions. So what I do when my shoulders were in a lot of pain, now my husband would say, Natasha, I can see every muscle spasming in your shoulders, my shoulder blades, because it would be that whole area and I would get migraines. Oh my gosh, the migraines. I'm asking for healing on this. So going into this, that you can work past a lot of absolutely agree all of what you said. I am a Cancerian, and yeah, exactly. I'm a double Cancerian. I get it, sweetie. So going into this, and good morning, by the way. Uh, Focus on attention on your shoulders. How do they feel? Are they tight or relaxed? Become aware of all responsibilities you carry on your shoulders. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Imagine the release of all the worries. As if they were like big rocks that you can throw away. Use your hands to take the rocks off your shoulders and throw them into an imaginary ocean. Say, divine healing intelligence, please release all strain, stress, worry, insecurities, confusion, hurt, rejection, sadness from my shoulders, as well as points of view, all patterns, positivity and negativity, charged with contribution this to this condition. And repeat the words clear, clear, clear. Okay? So going into this, that as you negotiate some of these things, now sometimes it's hard to release. Yes, throwing rocks out. But remembering that when you throw a rock out, it's transforming what is. Now, for me, I still have negotiating my shoulders. Okay. But I also know that I've done a lot of healing because I've been willing to go through that discomfort story. I've been willing to negotiate through this discomfort moment because pain is control. Doesn't that make sense? Pain is a form of control. Who's controlling who? I don't like to be controlled. I don't even like to control myself. So if I'm willing to break through that discomfort moment, then I'm able to go through and transform what I am. Now, I'm going to go back because I've been scrolling past this. Me breaking out in hives when my husband would speak, when I would get into more of a negotiation where my voice wasn't able to be heard as cleanly. Okay? And in that crescendo moment where things were at the peak of discomfort or the peak of a moment where things were usually the turning point of a fun moment to a negative moment. Okay. That's a point, right? The fun moment turning, or the good conversation turning into not good conversation. An interaction like a hug turning into not a good hug, right? Those moments where things turn, like you're doing something out in the yard and all of a sudden your back says, or your shoulders say, I'm done. The good turned into not so good, right? Or you're at work and all of a sudden the workload gets stressed, and that moment where you felt purposeful, all of a sudden your body says, I'm done. That turning point from good to not so good. That is usually the moment of where discomfort shows itself. Ooh, that was a download, wasn't it? So going back to that conversation I was having with her, that when we're willing to look at that discomfort, when we're willing to look at that moment where we need to get through that snow with the train that's brushing all the snow away, that when we have knowing that every emotion we have, sadness, anger, frustration, anxiety, anxiety is actually a teller that we're going to be maybe doing something exciting, right? But everybody kind of negotiates that when we are in that moment of discomfort, and I wish I would have known this in more, because I've had a couple of years of a lot of healing that I've done in myself, that when I would have said to myself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I can trust, 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 I'm good, I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm good, I'm good, trust, I trust, accept, I accept, I trust, I trust, I trust. So do you hear how I'm disrupting the disruptor, that mind moment? Because pain wants to control, discomfort wants to control, the mind wants to stay in disharmony, right? So in that disharmony, if we can look at disharmony for what it is, a disruptor for the moment for things to change. Now that's taking a positive spin on a PTSD moment. That positive spin into knowing where we're at. Now I have PTSD too, okay? But the one thing that I usually say when I'm getting tagged to it is I'm safe, 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 I'm safe. Because a lot of PTS moments, I want to flip that word over, unforgivable moments. PTSD a lot of time is trauma coming from unforgivable moments. If you think of people who are like in the war zones and they have PTSD from that moment, isn't that an unforgivable moment? When you bring everything down to its simplicity. Now there's simplicity in heaviness and there's simplicity in lightness. Everything has a moment. But when you're going through your aches and pains, remembering that when you are in a moment of this pain, like Daniela, when you are in that moment of pain, can I use you as an example? If you're in that moment of pain, because I can resonate with that please do not ruminate, sit in it for a very long time. Honor the pain. You're here. Thank you. I am honoring you for where you're at, what you're doing. I appreciate the limitation that you're giving me right now so I can rest my body. We're going to move through this and I am going to be healing and I honor you. I honor you. And we're safe. We're safe. We're safe. We're safe. I'm safe. We're safe. We're all safe because there is a team here. There is all parts of you. There's your soul, spirit, body, energies, organs, cells, tissues, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's an all thing incorporating this moment. And if you can say you're safe. So let's say if somebody comes to the door all the time, and I'm going to say maybe a neighbor, that you couldn't move from being next to that neighbor, but that neighbor has the same tone that an abusive father had, right? Or the neighbor did something to you that you don't like. And so as soon as they knock on the door, you feel your energy just go poof, right? Those energy zappers, poof. Do you have people like that in your life? I know, they're around. I've had those too. Like I always said, my mother of heart, who's a double Gemini, and my husband, who's a double Leo, they could take my feet out from underneath me faster than anything coming towards me, right? A train coming at me at 100 miles an hour. They can take my legs out because that was old story that was trying to negotiate me. And the one thing when I got that moment where I wanted to say, I'm safe, right? And I would picture myself actually swinging up, my feet actually coming off the ground is what the image that the universe gave me. I'd picture my feet coming back down. I'm safe, 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 I'm safe. And I would, sometimes I would want to hear what they're saying, but if you know a double Gemini, they spiral sometimes through a little bit of talking, and then sometimes they can be, kind of, it's a negotiation. Okay. So coming into this, that if you can bring your feet back down to where you're at and really say that you're safe. Now, I would break out in sometimes these moments of not feeling safe of old patterns. See the language I'm using here? Those old patterns that made my nervous system feel unsafe to this moment. That's what I was saying. Say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe about. And I actually picture like when my cortisol is going up, whoop, it's going up over my body, right? No, come down, come down, come down, come down, come down, come down, come down. So I picture my cortisol coming down. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And, going into the pain, Daniela, is like, if you can, oh gosh, I mean, even doing that probably hurts, right? Come on, we're safe. We're shifting this energy field. Shifting this energy field around us. We're in this moment where we're safe. We're safe, we're safe, we're safe. I love you, I love you, I love you. And if you can do something like that, it's about honoring where you're at, because that's called acceptance. When you honor where you're at, that's called acceptance. But if you're sitting in the emotion of anxiety and it's triggering right now, what we can do is we can say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. I'm asking for healing on this. I'm asking for divine healing on this. That's the mantra of this month, is I'm asking for divine healing on this. Saying those words, I'm asking for healing on this. I'm asking for healing on this. That a lot of times we come from that negative place of rumination and story. The mind likes to stay there, that rumination, right? It can actually move us up out of that trauma. And we don't ruminate in those stories. Now, going back to that, knock, knock, knock. Oh, God, I can feel their energy zapping me right now. Pull back your energy. Claim that energy. That's mine. I'm taking back my energy field. I'm taking back you don't have to answer the door right away. Taking back my energy field. Practice this to do better, right? Taking back that energy field. I'm taking back that energy field. And own yourself. Get your feet back underneath you. The only reason why people are energy zappers are because we allow them. Hey, we're all human. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. That's going to happen because these people that love us the most, they say, are the ones that sometimes can get into the cracks and the crevices and hurt us the most. That's food for thought, isn't it? So, when you're into this knowing and into this story and into who you are, remembering that sit with that moment, that energy for a moment, that song, the conversation. Like if that person is at the door and you're like, I can't talk to him today, then don't. But deal with that energy that's sitting with you right then, that discomfort, and start saying, I'm safe. I know for me saying that mantra at the moment where the crescendo was happening, the point in the conversation where life was turning from positive to negative, that within a week to 2 weeks, doing it consistently and going fully into this understanding that I was safe, that I'm safe. Guess what? The only reason why my back breaks out in hives right now is I have a lot of tomatoes. So it's going back to the reason why my liver needing a little assistance. Now, there again, working with these fingers, do you know what fingers, right? Those you know what fingers, they are the organs for, and also your molars are your liver. And then also, I think my feet are clean. This part of your foot, right underneath the pad, that's also your liver. So look up these different places where liver hits the body. I've been having problems with my molars. Asking for divine healing on this. I'm asking for a reason, understanding of this. I'm also working on my cortisol. I want to bring that down, which means I want to get off the insulin resistance, which is craving sugar, eating just to eat. I'm not eating on purpose, a lot of those things. And when you can negotiate healing the liver and the gallbladder, because the liver really, from my understanding, doesn't have a lot of nerves to it, but the gallbladder does. So it's that talking. So I know that if my gallbladder's talking, my liver's talking a little bit. And I'm noticing I'm just a little puffy just under there. So that's also the spleen on the other side. So the spleen helps those things. So going into this, I'm asking for healing on this. I've also been using castor oil, putting a poultice on it. I actually almost put too much castor oil on last night, and I didn't want to wake up toxic because we're in a full moon. Oh my gosh, this week, oh my gosh, this week. The more you say, because things are coming up to show us what we need to work on, showing us what to work on, the more you can come in and say, how can I heal this? And many times it's shifting up the mindset of it. Now, have my shoulders healed all the way? I'm going to say not really. But I can sure tell you that I can lift 50 pounds again. I can't, now I lift it with my body more, not just, I don't lift 50 pounds this way. I can do yard work. I am careful about the purses that I carry and that kind of stuff. So, there's still some interactions that I need to honor my body with. You hear my language with that? Those places where I need to I'm called to honor my body. I'm called to honor my body, quotation marks, because of a scenario that my body says that I still need to be careful with. Because part of this story of my shoulders, yes, it's about doing what I'm doing. Yes, it's about my cortisol. Yes, it's about a lot of things. But it's also here to say, Natasha, you don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it all. There's times when your body is going to ask you to slow down and relax a little bit. Do it. Before my show, this full moon, oh my gosh, yesterday, anytime I got a chance to rest my eyes, I did. There's just an energy shift that's coming through, and oh my gosh, I think I fell asleep for a few minutes before my show because I really felt like I needed to just shut down for a little bit. So if you know somebody can really use this show, please share, please honor them with saying, hey, Natasha has a show that's talking about trauma. I'm hoping it can help you. But it's remembering that if you are ready to look at that discomfort in more of an enlightenment, and yes, it means that it's about being ready. You know, sometimes we're too new into the trauma or too raw in a trauma, that grief process, that trauma process, that we can't do this as of yet. But for me, you know, the one thing that I kind of did when I was in that raw moment, even if there was a little bit of discomfort to it, I sat with it for just a few minutes, few seconds actually, and sat with it to really help my body and my soul kind of get a little bit what's that story? What is it that when you get used to doing something, it doesn't seem as big as it was, right? We were watching some stories about about some of the Western gentlemen that were the first ones to ride across the West here, and you know, if a bear hollered at them, what did they say to the bear? Go away, because you know they were so used to seeing bears. But a new person seeing a bear, right? So when you get into these moments of you know, kind of lessening the trigger, I don't want to say numbing the trigger, but lessening the impact of the trigger. Okay, because numbing means that you're just not paying attention to it. But lessening the impact of the trigger, many times we can feel a little bit more safer looking at it, looking into it. Thank you so much, beautiful guidance. I'm going to do a meditation now. I do appreciate your support with lots of love and light. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you very much. And have a great meditation. And I'm going to be channeling here in a few minutes. I'm wondering who Mother Mary wants to come in. So I'm going to be channeling Mother Mary. Mother Mary is mom. She's not attached to any energy. And Danielle, if you want to stick around for another 15 minutes, that I am going to be channeling here, and I'm usually done by 5 o'clock. So she is mother. She's coming in as a guidance of love, and she's not mom of the human form. She's mom of love. So if you can, please remember that as I channel, like I've been channeling messages through this whole show, but channeling is part of my language might change, things might shift up a little bit. And I knew it. Paula, you have been part of this. You called in Jesus, and then now you called in Mother Mary, and guess who's listening? Guess who's listening? And guess who's trusting her intuition a whole lot more? Yay, Paula. Okay, so it's going to take me a moment here. I forgot my water, but that's okay. That as I talk, my voice will change a little bit. I do close my eyes so that I have less distractions. And as I do that, so remembering that her conversation is through my understandings. If somebody else channels Mother Mary, that's going to be through their understandings. So she might use some of my language. She might do some things. I'm also going to be pulling oracle cards towards the end. I will not be reading my comments while I am channeling, but please remember that I'm going to do a quick card reading before my show ends at 5 o'clock or ish, somewhere in there, because it's later than I thought it would be. So about 10 minutes or so. You are so lovely, and your energy is amazing. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you so much. This is my life calling. This is who I am. I love doing support, helping, knowing, lovingness with others around me. And thank you. When I get to do this, my energy just goes, and winds me up. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so stepping aside so I can be a clear channeler, clear voice for those around me, Mother Mary. Oh, dear ones, you have come through some tremendous energies and so many life stories that you are just coming into who you are. And keep going, keep believing, keep knowing yourself, my dears. Because as you are who you are, that's part of uncovering these stories that have been placed upon you in this and other dimensional worlds. We all have some form of story. So let's shift some understanding. May I give this to you? As you look at your trauma, change the language to story. Trauma, yes, it's a good word to use, but when you're working in your story, this dear one started doing this and didn't even realize that she was doing this. She started changing her trauma to story. When you change a story, what does that language story mean? Let's compare the words trauma and story. What vibration does trauma word carry? Hurt, pain, sorrow, untold stories, unspoken voices, unwilling for others to help you be you, stuffed downness. Now let's look at the word story. What vibration does the word story carry? Lots of opportunities with that word, isn't there? Because story can be anything you want it to be. Trauma is locked into heaviness, negativity, less than, stifled, right? Story. Do you want a horror story or do you want a drama? Do you want a comedy or do you want a love story? I love those love stories. Now you can have stories that have those up and heavier up moments of light and love and less light and love moments in your world. You see the language changing there? That when you are in your story, my dear Daniela, pretty name, that Daniela, if you change your shoulder story or trauma into a story, what energy is it giving you? What story does it want to say? Ooh, you carried a lot of responsibilities in your life, right? But how can you change that story that you have not written yet? Veronica, you too, my dear friend, sister, that you, my dear, have rewritten your story from trauma to beautifulness, haven't you? And Paula, you're doing the same. You have really come out of your negative stories that other people have tried to put you into and gained your own wisdom through your evolution. So coming through your story, and I love how we were listening to this conversation that this dear one had with her friend, and moving that friend through much of her trauma to a story. And her story can change by shifting the energies around her. Don't give the energy of the negativity. If you're freeing yourself from giving it anything, like this dear one, we love watching this dear one with her husband. He said himself, we heard him. He said himself, I get angry at you because you don't react the way that I want you to. And we hear this one dear one say sometimes, my dear, I do not want to say anything right now because what you're saying, what I would say is going to be wrong no matter what. And so I love you and I want to honor this moment that you're having. So I'm not going to say anything until it's a better time. And exactly pretty much in that tone. Because she is allowing herself to rewrite the story of the victimhood that she used to fall into. She's not responsible for him. Oh, no. She's responsible for her. She's responsible for her. And me saying this language through her, there again, there's a part of her body that represents emotions. The liver, the gallbladder of the body is talking. But guess what? You can have this, what some people may call ache, negative. She would like to call it realigning, re-emerging. The cells are growing different. She is changing the DNA of her liver right now through changing the language that was set forth from the years of trauma and drama. She is writing her new story, which is greater health. So come into who you are, understanding. We love this image we gave her of those trains that come through the deep snow and pushes it out of the way. Does it linger and struggle through that? Or does it say, nope, I'm going to get through it? Because momentum, that's what she was trying to say earlier, momentum helps the action of healing. When you stay in a less heavy vibration, you may have yourself be healing with a little bit more ease and grace. That's why we gave these insights to this dear one about the words I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. We give these to her in certain moments because it is a moment of understanding that it's turning one thing to another thing. That other interaction piece. When we believe in ourselves, healing can happen. Now, does healing in the body happen 100%? Maybe not. Because the body takes time. That is a moment, though, where you are in less limitation for your story. As you come forward into this next part of the month of June, you will be coming into some bigger shifts and changes. Loving yourself, staying centered in yourself, knowing that the outer world is just the outer world. It wants to knock on your door, but you do not have to answer it. If you live with it in your house, my dears, remember you can have boundaries on them too. Do things with love and kindness, and you will receive love and kindness for yourself. My love is with you, my dears. I will come and assist you all in your story. Believe in me, believe in you. I've been grateful to help all of you when you needed it. Paula, my dear, you sure have been talking with me lately. And Jesus, my Joshua, for my son. We're all here for you. And dear Michael, oh, he has been busy too. Believe in you, my dears. Life is worth changing with it, because when we change with it, we get the understanding. We are not here, the energies are not here to punish you. They are helping you relieve yourself of the old. The body may resonate with it still just a little bit. Healing can happen for that too. And understanding boundaries. Limitations are not limitations, they're just boundaries. Changing that word again, isn't it? Remember, rewrite your stories. From trauma to, do you want it to be a love story? Change the perspective. And remember, you're not where you are yet. It's a journey. My love is with you. Thank you for being here. Wow. Whew. Whew. Yeah, that was big. Okay, so I'm going to just do this real quick because it's coming to the end of the show here. That I'm going to be on at 4 o'clock Pacific time. I think I'm not sure, 9 o'clock some other time. I'm going to be, if you go to Erica, and I'm going to put this I'm going to edit the information on this, and it's Erica Kesse Therapeutic COO, and it's her YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to be on that with TDI, the Dawning Institute, where I am connected with for helping heal through trauma, heal through our stories. If you go to Dawning Institute, that there's many practitioners who are here in different capacities to help heal our mental state, because our mental state is not always for the better. Okay. Drink some water today. Yes, I totally will, because I know I didn't bring it with me, and I usually drink almost a whole glass while I'm channeling, or after I channel. So before I after channel. So that was my oops. And I will drink lots of water before a certain time, because I don't want to pee all night. So that would be Eric Kesse, Erica Kesse. She is the glare. She will be we will be on June 20th at 4 o'clock Pacific time. So you know what? I know that I said I was going to pull oracle cards for people. I'm just going to pull a group of oracle cards right now for the collective, because I want to honor the time. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. I'll put the link in the bottom. I got to figure out how to do that because of the link. But I'll link her. I'll get on her thing on my computer, and then I'll link it at the bottom of this show. Okay? The information. Let me do. Woo! Cards are, so this is a collective for everybody. Woohoo! Oh yay. Okay. So there's like one more card that wants to come out here. Which one is it? I am guessing it is you. And then the back card and the top card. Okay. Put you over there. Okay. So the main story of this card is Discernment and what is this? Discernment, precision, prophecy, vision is upside down. Right now, we may not be able to see the whole vision yet. I just got information that 3 of our teachers that have been amazing teachers, and they were in for leave replacements, and 2 of them were coming to me. What are you getting? What are you getting? What are you getting? I said, yet. You don't have all the information yet. We don't have all the information yet on where this world is going to come. So that's why our feminine power is kind of like in this holding pattern, right? In this holding pattern, because that's what a card means upside down. But at the same time, if you look at this card and it's about coming into our empowerment, like you, Daniela, wanted to go meditate. Perfect, right? That meditation, getting into the full moon energy. You know, what are we doing here? Now, the full moon energy is about shifting that negative into the positive. It's about releasing what we want to gain. I'm done with this and I'm receiving, right? It's a 2 card, so it's about balancing, okay? Because of the fact that we are here, we're not as novice as we used to be, and we're transforming into our bigger picture. The butterfly is about that transformation, but we haven't transformed all the way yet, because we need to come back to ourselves, be centered in ourselves, centered in our understanding. That night, the Gale night, about romance, illusions, seeking the sacred. Get through the illusions. We have a chance to work with the different dimensions and the realities that were healthier. But sometimes this 3D body, liver, needs to work through it. Shoulders needs to work through it just a little bit to believe that we can. So remembering that he's not necessarily letting go all the way, but he's in surrender. He's in trust. And he's in acceptance. The nail knight is kneeling on his knee, kneeling down on his knee with a staff in his hand with light coming down on him. He's trusting the insights that are going to be coming to him to help him to get the bigger vision, Because, where's the next card? Because we are needing to be done with that, needing to be in the sorrow, the forgiveness story. That forgiveness story can be a trap sometimes. Sometimes things are unforgivable. I just move on, right? Life is moving on because it's time to get into our community. It's time to have some joy. It's time to run. It's time to trust our instincts. It's time to follow what we need to follow in the positive more than the negative. Yes, go within, because outer world's going to distract us, right? The outer world's going to distract us because as that train is going through the snow, the conductor is inside, not seeing where he's going, but he's trusting that the tracks will give him a chance to get there. Okay? So it's really time for us to trust ourselves, trust those emotions. Those emotions are innocent. It's our story, our trauma that has put other energies onto it. So if I don't want to go into discomfort, what does that discomfort represent? A PTSD moment? Okay, yeah, that could be one label of it. One label. But that whole PTSD moment can be, if you undo the layers of the onion, can come back to a moment where we heard somebody yell and it was out of our vibration. That simple act when we were a baby and somebody yelled out of our vibration could be the domino, the collector of all those stories around that one moment. That ball of yarn, right? The yarn just starts within, but then that ball of yarn keeps adding on and 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 adding on. Sometimes we have to undo that yarn to leave this here with you. And remembering that anything starts sometimes a simple concept, that simple negativity, that simple shift of our reality is a thing that was a life-altering moment to cause us to have these moments where discomfort is more negative than positive. Change discomfort to a positive. It's a teller. It's not a punisher. Remember, don't ruminate in it. Don't sit in it for long, but visit it and say thank you for being here. I'm Natasha Venter, intuitiveclarifications.com, loving support people in their life's journey. I am live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. I don't know what yet I'm going to be talking about next month. Regan won't be on the third Wednesday of the month, but he will be on the last Wednesday of the month. And that's right before my family comes in for the wedding. So thank you. Join me on the 20th at 4 o'clock Pacific time on YouTube on her channel. I got to get it again. It is it's Erica Kesse Therapeutic COO. That if you can be there, and then remembering that I love to support you. Visit my YouTube channel. I have a lot of videos just doing a 3-part series on this exact story. Some of it I repeated in this show. Others other information's in there too. Remember to breathe. You're in the middle of a lot of life-altering moment change. This full moon is very powerful. Very powerful. Because we have things that are shifting at the beginning of this week and things shifting at the end of this week. It's a very powerful. So be careful what you're saying to yourself, what you're showing yourself, what you're engaging with yourself. Remembering that when you wake up in the morning, what are you talking to yourself about? I don't want to wake up. No. Wake up and say, I'm here. I have love. I have abundance around me. I'm moving forward in this reality with grace and ease and love and light. Shift your realities. Shift your world. Again, I'm Natasha Venter, intuitiveclarifications.com. Please like, share, support, whatever you need to do to maybe support a friend who's in this story. Remember, I'm a perspective. Your truth is your truth. I'm hoping to add some little bit of flavor to your truth to help shift it up so you can start the healing process. Blessed be to you. And may love be with you. Oh, thank you, Daniela. I'm so grateful that you tuned into the show and took your time. And thank you for waiting those 15 minutes for your, because I heard there was a message for you, for your meditation. Bye now. Thank you. Thank you, Paula.